What's up, everybody? Big D, Derek Lambert, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate all your love. Go check me out on my Patreon. If you guys want to support this platform, we're going to talk a husband and wife type situation. Two couples, man, woman, crazy as hell. We guys were running the streets, man. We were doing the dumbest things you can imagine. This is not to glorify it, but, you know, I can laugh at my past because I know where I'm at today. And I know Chris knows he does too. Him and his wife came and visited me and my wife. We recorded this at my house. I hope you guys like this. This will take you into the mind of a relationship situation and going through this kind of stuff. But I'm on an upbeat, you know what I'm saying, guys? We're going to keep pushing. Do the right thing and stay positive. Help each other out. If you need to reach out and contact me, I'm down in the description. I got over 4 years clean. I help drug addicts. That's what I do today. I love you guys. Hit me up. So I'll start us out, and then we'll just go like campfire, pass the torch. And I know you girls have done things wrong too, but since it's drug addiction, don't lie. We're not the only ones who've ever made a mistake. Okay, so Chris, I'm addressing you, bro, because you'll understand me better.
Yeah. Even
though you ladies try. I took my mom's check, right? Because I used to take her. I would actually, Mrs. Bonnie. And she would be my Bonnie and I'd be Clyde, and I'd have her distract my mom. But I would promise her things, you know, to try and like entice her to distract my mom. Well, I'd grab a check because I had already burnt the whole sneaking the debit card.
No, that I was not a part of that.
No. But sneaking the debit card, I'd gotten caught so many times taking money out of my mom's account.
Yeah.
Thousands. I'm talking probably in all $15,000 to $20,000. I've probably taken over a long period of time from them. And I took this check and I went to the bank. And I didn't want to go too much. This is the first time that I took my brother's advice, because Kurt was doing the same stuff as me. And it's just a nightmare what we were doing. And I said, okay, I'm not going to do too much on this check. I'm just going to do like a $75 or $100 check, something like that. So I went to the bank to cash it. And the lady looks at the check and she said, your mother gave this to you? I'm like, yeah. Well, she's holding on to this check, and I don't know what's going on. All I know is that she's got me waiting in the office, and I'm like, all of a sudden, my mom walks around the corner.
Office? Yeah, did she put you in the office?
Well, the transaction was actually taking place in the office. Usually, you go up to the window. Mm-hmm. This lady was acting totally cool. Oh, I know your mom. I know you guys. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay. It's just taking a little extra time. I'm like, Then my mom walks around the corner. Derek, what are you doing? And I look at her. Hey, Mom, Dad gave me a check to go right. No, he didn't. Like, in front of this lady in the bank, made a scene. No, he didn't. And I'm like, yes, he did, Mom. Yes, he did. You know, but Mom's like...
You're like, I'm sticking with it, yeah. Get
over here right now. She gave me this face, and I was so angry and embarrassed at the same time. I ran out of that bank. I never went back there again except years later when I was clean to even walk in there. But I got caught red-handed with the check in the bank. And she could have pressed charges, but my mom never did. I think that my run, just being honest, might have been short-lived more if my mom and dad would have charged me for some of the things that I did do. Oh, yeah. Maybe. Mm-hmm. You never know if I didn't get treatment, though. But enabling, you know. And it's not that they enabled me with, like, are you going to put your kid in jail? Are you going to put your kid in prison? That's a hard one.
I was reading a poem to him the other day, and it was actually really interesting because a part of the poem said, when did help turn into enabling? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for parents who wonder, like, am I helping them or am I actually enabling them? And where do you draw the line? Yeah. How do you know? You know? Yeah. So that was very deep, you know?
Well, I think also, too, like for Christopher's mom, it was like she struggled with drug addiction, too. I feel like for her, too, that was one of her big things is she never wanted to, like, put him into jail, you know? Like, it was, like, whatever she could do to keep him out of jail.
She felt like, she felt like it was her obligation to protect him. My mom was meth, bro. My mom shot hella meth, and I was just more heroin and meth. But she would, that's what made it even harder. I'd try to hang around with Mom to get clean off of the dope, and then I'd just end up smoking white and just fucking feed 10 times harder to get catch a nod, you know what I mean? It was just like it was a mess I put myself in, but I did that shit to my mom too a lot. I didn't ever really take checks. She didn't really have checks to take, but she had a food card, bro, that I would she'd like be like, yeah, you can take this food card down and get a bag of chips or whatever.
No, but your mom, it was enabling too, because your mom knew that.
What?
she knew what you were doing with it. She just wanted, in her eyes, if things were easier for you to just not be sick, not withdrawing, like just get what you need to get, and she doesn't have to worry about you going and stealing and doing stuff like that. Like, I feel like that was kind of...
Yeah, she'd help me out with a 20 piece every once in a while, but I was a pretty high maintenance fucking junkie, bro. That wasn't enough, you know what I mean? I was still stoned her shit left. Like I said, she'd give me her EBT card to go get a bag of chips or whatever. I'd run down to the store and I'd go to her friend that sold dope, dude, and I'd fucking sell her whole EBT card to that person for $0.5 grams. And then as soon as I sold it to him, I'd call the 800 number and cancel that card so my mom still got her EBT card back. And just burn them. But then it's like they never came at me because it was their buddy's kid. You know what I mean? I just did fucking dirtbag shit like that all the time, bro. Or like I remember one time I took my mom's phone to Safeway to trade it to my dealer. She had one of the newer Samsung smartphones. Rode this little 10-speed down there. And she knew I was sick, bro. I was just like trying to freaking dry out on her couch for like 2 days. And I was getting to that point where I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm finding it. The second that she goes to the bathroom, I am finding something valuable and I am going to get a bag, period.
Right.
And so the second she did turn her back, I went and got her phone, dude. Fucking pedaled my ass on this rickety little bike down to Safeway. Met my buddy, dude. And I planned it all out, too. I took it out of the case. She had it in an OtterBox, bro, and I folded up a black tube socket. Because, like, the phone has this. I thought of all this because I know how my mom is, dude. And she's fucking following me in her Suburban, bro, while I'm on this 10-speed fucking laying on her horse. I need to get back. I got my phone. And I'm fucking just, like, hauling ass. And I just need to meet Nick in this stall, bro. I just have to meet him in this fucking stall. And I get there, go in the stall. She's trying to find me in the store. And she comes out and she sees me talking to Nick. And she knows this kid from when I was in school with him. She's like, Nick, what are you doing with my son? I'm like, dude. And she's like in the parking lot. She's like, where's my fucking phone, motherfucker? And I had her case, because I just sold him the bare phone, and I had a black tube sock rolled up, stuck in the case, so that when I waved the fucking case up to her like this, it looked like there was still a phone in it, and these little inserts. You know what I mean? Because I knew if I would have held it up like this, she would have seen it was an empty case. Right. So I thought all this elaborate shit, fucking stuffed a sock in there, and I was like, I got your phone, I just had to use it to call him when I got here. Fuck. And then when we got back to the house, I was like, yeah, I sold your phone. Sorry.
Oh my god!
And it was always a mission to like get back.
Oh yeah,
he got rid.
It was almost like a challenge. Like how
he would sell. He would give his phone up for collateral all the time.
Yeah.
And then come to my house, and the whole thing was like, I need to get my phone back. I need to find this much money. I need to give this guy $60 to get my phone back. And it was always like he just wanted me to like save the day and just give it to him, or or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would, because in my head I was like, I just went like,
damn, how am I gonna reach you?
Yeah, you gotta have a phone, and like, yeah, I definitely did struggle with like that and like enabling.
I think every loved one struggles with that. Like for me, even having kids, I knew like Derek was gonna get it either way, and that's what happens when you're addicted. They're gonna find a way. So you try to protect them so that they don't go out and steal for it. So
you're not only trying to protect us,
get killed for it.
You're not only trying to protect us. There's also a sense of power and control that we want, and not in a bad way. Like part of you's like, if I don't do it, he's not going to come to me. Mm-hmm. He might come to someone else. He might try to find us some other way, or he might. There might be part. Well, I used to come to you and get it out of your purse. I mean,
he would. I was really sick around this time. Like, I had a hard time walking. I couldn't even Sometimes he'd have to carry me to the bathroom. So I was really sick. And he would come and take it from me. And I'm physically, normally I would be trying to fight him, but I would physically not even be able to try to fight him. Mm-hmm. So he would just take it from me, and there was really nothing I could do. At that point.
Wasn't that bad of a guy. There were times where she wouldn't let me, and I would still take her purse physically from her to grab a 20. Yeah. And I'll fucking pay you back. Chill. Yeah.
Bro, that became a big addiction for me. Like, thievery, bro, like stealing became almost like, it's crazy. Even when I quit doing dope, for like a few months after that, I was still pocketing shit from stores, bro. It was
grab 2 Red Bulls, but the one behind it. Oh, let me put that back.
Such a thief, bro. And I took pride in it because I was slick with it. I would do like random shit. I remember I had this like routine. I would fucking go into Fred Meyer's, bro. Find a receipt on the ground in Fred Meyer's. There was a Dick's Sporting Goods right across the street. I'd go get a pair of Timberland Pro work boots they sold for $180 there. Fucking walk in one side, 10 snip the fucking electronic sensor off, or I had an earth magnet if it was that kind of sensor, and I'd have the fucking, and I'd be in all my construction clothes, bro, and I'd have the receipt folded in half in my mouth, and I'd walk out, I'd come in one entrance, get those shoes all in one fluid motion, I'm not wasting time, go out the other end by the garden section with that receipt folded up in half my mouth and my fucking phone perched under my shoulder like I'm just, yeah, all right, have a good day, guys. Yeah, bullshitting like I'm on my way to my truck. Just walk right across the street, trade those boots in $180 in-store credit, sell that gift card for 70% on the dollar, and I had dope money. I did that shit constantly, bro. Or like Walmart, dude, I'd go in and get the fucking $10 little flip trash cans and I'd just fill them up with fucking Blu-ray players, Blu-ray movies, Kershaw knives, fucking... Dude, in Colorado, that's where I was at this time. They used to be able to exchange without a receipt live ammunition, so I'd get fucking Winchester shotgun shells, bro. Those were expensive. Or Learjet ink cartridges were like fucking $80 a little thing. Or but I'd fill up this trash can, bro, with like $300 merchandise, go to self-checkout, scan the fucking garbage can like I was a good customer, paying customer, pay $5 for that garbage can, go out to my car, dump the fucker out in my car, go back and fucking exchange the garbage can for $5 in-store credit and buy a pack of Camel 99, dude. I got a fucking pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, you were, dude, you were clever,
I
and I got in trouble. I wasn't so clever. I actually got a felony charge. I was drinking at this time. I wasn't even doing dope at this time. I was just drinking, but I was drinking. I'd wake up to drink. Me and her weren't together. We had, like, been separated, like, we've been separated, like, 5 times in all of our marriage. Like, she's moved out and everything. Like, we just, you know, crazy. And I was at this customer's house. I'd made a lot of money already. She paid me like $4,600 for 3 days worth of work. You know, I cut down these trees, little pine trees, and then I had to grind the stump and till this little area and level it out. And she paid me $4,600. We did a lot of work, but I don't think $4,600 was, it was a lot more. So I got greedy, and she said, I got another job. I need the inside painted, and I need caulking, and I need shelves, and this and that. And we're like, okay. She had to go see her husband that day. She shows me all the beer in the fridge. She's a German lady who had like strong beer too. And I'm like, dude, yeah, if you don't mind. I start drinking first thing in the morning. She leaves. Before she left, she went and got cash and all this stuff. She was leaving her money. She's leaving her pills around. And like, I'm in this house and I didn't take them. I took the pills to sell them. Like I'm a one drug at a time guy. I don't drink and do dope. I didn't like smoking weed, for example, and drinking alcohol. I got dizzy, and I didn't like the way it made me feel. I liked high for the weed, or high for the alcohol, or high for the dope, and I was like a one at a time, but I was extreme. And I was drunk, and the guy working with me is slipping diamond rings and stuff into these little putty, you know, you got your little putty things, and he's squeezing them down in there and filling it up with jewelry and all this stuff. And we left there and went to a pawn shop, and I pawned this ring, and this gold ring was her husband's. He's a military guy. And, like, that was his ring. He has pictures of him wearing it and everything. So I'm trying to get sober. Me and Ryan are working things out. Like 5 days later, we get a knock early in the morning on the door, and it's police.
And they're handcuffed. And I'm
well,
like,
she wakes up to that.
You know, so I'm like freaking out on them. Like, you know, why are you arresting my husband? Like, oh, hell no. You know, freaking out. And basically got told, you know, shut the hell up. So
they looked at me and were like,
damn it.
Is Derek Lambert here? And I'm like, yeah, I am, officer. And he says, get out here, put your hands behind your back, da-da-da-da-da. If you try to, and he literally said this to me, if you try to fucking run, I'm tasing you. Like, immediately. And
that's so
and I was like, okay. I'm like, dude, I'm complying, officer. You know, but in my head, I'm thinking, what the he makes me want to try and run. What are you going to do with me when you get me in handcuffs? And he's like, you seem like the type who's clever, like you're going to run and try and get away.
Obviously, he wasn't that clever, and he wouldn't be getting arrested.
Right. I was drunk and went and pawned the shit the day I left her house.
And I had no clue about any of this at all, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
And you were thinking that you guys were like working things out, everything was good.
Well,
yeah, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know anything about this lady. I didn't know anything about all this money he had.
You didn't know he was going to do those jobs or whatever?
No, I didn't know any of that. So I was clueless when he was getting arrested. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
How did you feel
when
you found out?
Did you go do work for that lady again?
No, I just stood by him. You know, I stood by him. I said, as soon as I found out that the reason they found out it was him is because he pawned it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, we gotta go pay off the pawn shop. We paid the pawn shop off so that they would drop their charge, which they did. So it helped them.
So that they got all their stuff back.
Well, no, because
the lady didn't.
Other guy stole all this other stuff. But the lady, what was fucked up about it is the lady put $10,000
I probably stole $1,000 worth of stuff
him.
myself. Counting her pills, counting her cash. That literally the only two things that I actually stole in my pocket and a comforter set. It was like a $40 freaking here's a pillow and like some comforter set. It was brand new in the plastic wrap. You know, they look good. You can buy them at Big Lots, Walmart. I grabbed that too and put it in my trunk. I grabbed pills, money, and the comforter set. This guy was grabbing diamond rings and shit. I don't even know what he all grabbed.
He was an illegal Mexican.
He said, "Hey, puppy, here's the golden ring. Go, make money. You can go to the pawn shop." But he was telling me not to go to the pawn shop. But I was drunk and I had my mind made up, and we went and pawned it. The lady put 9,000.
No, it was like 10,000.
Almost 10,000 because it would have been grand larceny over 10,000.
Well,
she
it
right
ended
almost
up
at
being a
grand
felony
larceny.
because of how
First
much
charge
she
ever.
put on him. Even though all they had was $300,
Damn it.
because of the amount, it became a felony instead of a misdemeanor,
Then
which is stupid.
The lawyer wanted me to turn the guy in, which I'm thinking bro code or something. I was stupid. Plus, this guy had gotten rid of a lot of the stuff, and they wanted it just returned. I had to pay back restitution. I think we paid like $13,000 back.
On top of a lawyer,
years.
on top of the lawyer made him plead guilty for his first offense. He's never been in trouble before. And I told him, do not plead guilty. And I was here in Washington. We actually had moved here. He went back home to go to court. They kept him there because they put him on probation at that point. So I had to find a way to get my 2 vehicles, me and my 3 kids, back home by myself. Because all my family's there. I'm not staying here without them.
No.
That's the whole point of moving. So he became a felon because of that charge that she put on him. So it's really fucked up.
That's just one example. So your turn.
Something
different, maybe.
It's weird how you were talking about the how you said he told you don't run or I'm gonna fucking tase you, dude. Verbatim, bro. I had the exact same thing to me said from a sheriff, which and this was kind of this wasn't the end of my run, but this it's all these little things that accumulate to the point where you're finally like, dude, fuck this, I'm over it. You know what I mean? This was one of those little things, but like I said, I was known as a booster around town, bro. I boosted and got gift cards. That's what I did. But I started to get so noited out doing it because you can only hit so many stores, even when I'm going to Portland, whatever. Like I'm a pretty fucking frequent. I'm a pretty frequent avid shopper that doesn't ever buy anything. You know what I mean? Looks kind of fucking suspect. So so I started selling dope just to support my habit, bro. I was only selling like a quarter ounce a day, just enough to support my habit and buy cigarettes and food and give the people that are driving me around gas money and shit. But it was insane, dude, because I was So I got caught years back at a Walmart and got trespassed, and I wasn't allowed to go there anymore. But then over a course of the next several years, I went in there boosting all the time, dude, left and right. Never got caught. And then when I finally stopped boosting and started selling just to support my habit because I was so paranoid about going and stealing everywhere, I went into the fucking Walmart. Dude, she was getting off work, and I called her from my buddy's phone that was dropping me off there, and I was going in to decide to get fucking iced oatmeal cookies, bro, and a wallet that had a zipper compartment in it because the change in my pocket was annoying me. I was all spun out and shit, and I just didn't want it fucking jingling around. I just wanted it in a pocket, bro. It wasn't gonna fall out and shit. So I just went into Walmart to get that, and it was the first time I was going in there to literally purchase something and not do any shady shit, bro. But I had a ball on me and a scale. I wasn't even in there for 5 minutes, dude. I beelined it to the cookies, got a wallet, and I was in checkout, dude, and I see the sheriff just fucking mean bugging me, and he's like, and I was like, I thought he was pointing at the person behind me, because I'm like, you shit, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, you, and so he's like standing by customer service. It's like 11 at night, so customer service isn't open. But I was like, what's up, sir? And he fucking put my hands behind my back, and he was like, he said, stop resisting or I'll fucking tase you. And I wasn't resisting, but I was just so stiffed up that, because I was like thrown off. I was like, what did I do? But dude, that facial recognition shit's real, bro. But it's like, what are the odds? You know what I mean? Out of all the other times over the years I went in when I was banned and I was still stealing, no one caught my ass. And then it's like, I don't know.
Try not to steal.
They probably got a good glimpse of your face that time and were like, yeah, you're not doing it again.
But thank God, bro. Thank God I got stopped in my tracks right there, because that's when I was just really starting to get into selling, and who knows where it would have went from there,
Yeah.
I needed that shit.
But it was so weird because I had just gotten off of work, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from a number I didn't recognize, and he was always calling me from random numbers. So I answered, and it was the sheriff saying that he had just gotten arrested for stealing, and that if I showed up right then and there, they would release him to me.
I don't know why they told you that either. And this cop was drilling me, bro.
And I was so, stressed out because I was like, what are you, I had literally just gotten off work, and I was like, well, I'm all the way on the other side of town. It's going to take me 25 minutes to get there. He's like, well, never mind, then we're booking him.
He probably didn't want to do paperwork on it. There's no telling.
So this is the thing too. So I got hit with a possession with intent to deliver, and it was within a school zone because the school was right across the street from this place. So I was fucking scared. I was like, I'm going to prison, dude. But and they were trying to get me with intent to deliver because I had a scale and I don't know if you've ever seen those little weed dispensary jars that you squeeze the side and it pops open. Well, that's where I had my dope in, bro. And I had a bunch of little circle baggies at the bottom of it, but only the ball was in there, and then a bunch of little circle baggies. And when they took all that shit into evidence, they weighed like the ball with the container, and it was like 14 grams or something.
Yeah.
And so it looked like I was selling a bunch of dope, and I'm like, fuck that, dude, I wasn't. So I fought it, and I had to sit in there for like 3 months while my attorney was trying to get that sent to the lab to see how much this shit actually weighed, because it was less than a ball. I'd already done a shot out of it. And but that guy was trying to get me to fucking tell him who I got my shit from and everything. I was like, no, this is for me. I don't even sell. This is, I had a friend OD, and I like to weigh out my doses so I don't OD, and I'm just scared of dying. And he was like, if you don't fucking tell me the truth, I'm going to do everything in my power to crucify you on that stand and trial. That's exactly what he told me. Officer Donaldson, bro. And so when I finally ended up going to fucking...
By the way.
Don't worry, a poem's coming out soon.
Right.
Just kidding.
And when I started, when I finally went to trial after all, I had completed treatment, I had done all this shit, and that guy was, dude, when I went to trial to get sentenced for it, to get either credit for time served or them tell me guilty and I was going back to jail, that motherfucker was sitting right behind me, bro, the whole time in court, and I was the last person on the docket. I was in that courtroom for 2.5 hours just sweating, dude. I was like, this dude's here to personally fucking crucify me on the stand right now. What are the odds he's in here with me, bro? He was in there for another case, and he sat through the whole time, and then I went up and talked, and I showed him my certificates for treatment and everything, and he fucking came up to me at the end, and I was shaking, bro. I still thought he was there for me, kind of, being all paranoid. And he's like, I just want you to know I remember arresting you that night, and I'm really proud of you, man. He's like, you've come a long way. Congratulations.
Good.
And he shook my hand. It was sick, dude.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That is
really,
awesome.
It was really cool.
Wow.
Because, just the growth in just that time frame, because I remember just being looked at as just like a piece of shit with disgust when you're just that junkie getting caught stealing and doing shit. It's like, they're just like, you're just another number at that point. It's so fucking saturated with everyone doing that shit right now that it's like, it doesn't matter what your story is, you know what I mean? At a distance, these cops are just like, you little piece of shit. You don't know me individually, you know what I mean?
Well, I got a story for you.
Yeah.
Me and my brother were, I guess, I'm at the house, but I'm doing whatever I want to at this point, not caring. And I had this smart idea that I'm going to slide into someone's house and slide out while they're not home and they're out of town, not break in. Just slip in and slip out, And, you gotta make it not seem as bad as it is. But I pry open a door, we go in, we're looking for money. We're looking for stuff. I was starting to hint around to this story before we started recording. And I remember finding, camera, cheap looking ring, stuff like that, right? Stuff we're just trying to find stuff, and there's a safe, but we can't get in the safe. And we find these gift cards just in case they might have had money on it or whatever, but no, there wasn't any. And I was like, dude, anything we get, we'll split because we're trying to get high. I had no money. Me and Kurt ended up sliding out. We go back to his house, and there was maybe $15 in change, $20 in change, and I'm counting pennies. Okay, I'm so desperate. I'm sick now.
Yeah.
I'm full blown withdrawal just about, and I'm hands are clammy. I'm already getting to that point. And I'm counting change, and Kurt's over there. He's like, bro, that's all we got? And I'm like, yeah. We had a freaking pact. That's my bro. You know what I mean? Whatever I find, bro, we're sharing. We're brothers. This disease is no joke, man. And we get to his house. I'm counting this change on the table, and Kurt's like, did you check that camera box? I had checked everything already. What do you mean? He's, dude, you sure there's no money in the camera box? I open the camera box, and there's $20 or $100 or something. No, it was 20. And I'm like, bro, I look at him and says, cut the bullshit right fucking now. Cut the bullshit. You have fucking money you're not telling me about. Because I just checked this box. It had nothing in it. Don't play me. I'm paying attention to detail. I need this money.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He's like, all right, bro, yeah, I found $200. I'm like, you fucking held out on me?
Shit, bro.
$200?
He was just going to slide you 20
He was just going to slide me 20 out of 200, right? So he slides me 80 more to give me 100.
No, you're getting 120 now. That's bullshit.
Well, we ended up getting straight.
Keeping the change.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, we get straight. 2-3 days later, we're looking for more and all this and that. And he's like, bro, yeah, man, there was $500, you know, and I'm like, hold on, you had $500 and you told me we only had 200?
And he was only going to give you 20 out of 500.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
fuck.
and I'm like, this is my bro. It was my idea to begin with, you know, and I'm just, that's the mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from the addict's mindset, it was like, disregard the morals of this situation. That doesn't even matter to us because we're not thinking.
Nobody's your bro out there like that, bro. I mean, I know I did that shit so many times, you know, and that's the thing. I have such a mouthpiece on me, and I'm such a sincere, genuine guy. Like, I mean, I really am, but I could play this exact role when I was loaded too.
Yeah.
So I got all these people in my corner, bro. These people that were selling, you know, good amounts of dope. I became the right hand man. They wanted me around for entertainment. I had a personality they liked. They didn't get annoyed with, and I was getting rid of bags for them, you know, because I knew other avenues of people they didn't. It just all worked out. But the second I had an opportunity, no matter how close we got, and I really did get close to these people, I have great conversations. The second they not out and I had an opportunity, I was taking shit, bro. And I was their friend, though. But it's like, that was my fucking first priority. It don't matter. I was your boy. I really cared about you. But, like, dude, the dope was first, period.
Yeah,
Don't care.
always. My dope dealer moved in. We moved him in. The first opportunity I could. Just like, I really do care. You know, like, I really liked people and cared. But I did care about the dope first. But I wanted my dope dealer to live with me so that I didn't have to try and hunt him down to find out where the dope is. And,
While you were living with her?
Yeah, yeah.
And how
So-
he needed money paying bills.
So this guy was going to pay bills. And she's like, you stay in your lane.
And he was different.
He wasn't like
He wasn't like he didn't bring that shit around my house. He knew better.
He was
like,
very careful about it.
He had morals.
Yeah, he had
To
some
some
morals,
extent,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember he would weigh out, and he had this little shovel spoon. He would weigh out, get me straight, and finally he got so irritated by me bugging him early in the morning when I was sick. He's like, dude, you cannot knock on my door past 10 or 11 a.m. Or before. You wait. And I'm waiting. I'm sitting in my kitchen looking at the door. Like, 5 minutes still, I don't give a fuck. And then sometimes it'd be 11, he'd be pissed, you know, waking up and stuff. Well, he goes to make some deliveries. There were windows, so we had like built in a garage. We had made it a bedroom, and there were still windows, like as if it was the outside of the house, into that room.
Yeah.
And I would climb through, and I'd hunt the bedroom and find where the stash was.
Oh, yeah.
But not just find out where the stash was. This was tan dope. This dope was like a tan.
It's like
powder.
gunpowder shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would weigh it out with a shovel, get 0.5 gram to 1 gram, and go outside and get 1 gram's worth of sand. And I put the sand in the bag after I weighed it out, and it weighed the same, and it looked like dope, and it was good, and boom, and I'd be straight, but I'd still come by from them, like, oh yeah, you know.
And then you get some of the sand shit.
The next day when I was sick, I'd have to buy more. And now I'm shooting up sand dope, and I see the sand granules in the bottom of the spoon. I'm thinking to myself,
Fuck it.
dude, I just bought my own sand. Like, I'm so desperate.
But it all works
It didn't
out.
matter.
You're getting a bad, you know what I mean? I would have done the same shit, bro. I've done that same thing, not with sand, but with like dilute someone shit.
It's
For
just,
sure.
And then this is the crazy thing. I told this story on a live recently on my YouTube. And like, I'm going into this, right? And people are just laughing. Well, this guy comments, and he's like, dude, I forgive you, bro. And me and her thinking the dope dealer, like, seen the video. He's probably watching me and admiring. His name on YouTube was the Sandman. Yes.
It was the guy?
I don't know. We don't know.
He
But
could have just seen the video and happened
You
to
have to
the
know.
name
I was like, dude,
Sandman,
I got
so
the
he-
Sandman.
Yeah, and so he was like, this would
It
be
could've been
funny.
the guy
I forgive you, bro.
naming it.
The Sandman comment.
That
I
is
forgive
great.
you, bro. People have some funny sense of humor, you know?
Dude, I annoyed my, you know, at the same time, it just went so many different ways. Like, somehow I always worked my way back into people's hearts, so I'd burn them and shit, dude. And it's just like, I think it was like the pity people felt for me at a point. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I went to a point where I was hustling, I always had gift cards, whatever. But then I got to the point at the end of my relationship with everyone where it's like, dude, I would fully commit, bro. I was an actor out there. I mean, you know what I mean? I came out, I'd be like, dude, I'm on my way. And it's like, I'm going to meet someone a 30-minute One Direction route on a bus, and I'm going to get a 0.5 gram with no money. And I know exactly what I'm going to do when I get there. I'm going to act like, oh, fuck, dude, I fucking lost. Bro, please, I've had the worst 2 days, bro. I fucking lost it, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do, bro. Please. You know, like, just give me a 5-piece or something. I'm fine. And it's like, and they would do it. And as long as
I'm like,
I
do not
with
do
a
that.
little bit of the edge off, so then I had that little bit of.
And y'all met him in the hotel, you and him, and Kurt had ripped him off or something, and he already wouldn't sell to Kurt, but he would sell to you. What's his name?
I don't remember, but what I can't
I
remember.
can't remember what happened, but he like did something where he went to go hand him the money, and y'all told him y'all wanted 3, and y'all acted like you had the money for 3, but you only had the money for like 2. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but it wasn't that big of like a deal for me to remember details like I would, if it was that much big of a deal. I know in light of the whole begging and like just the way that we would play things, I remember one morning I was so desperate. This has happened many mornings. My dope dealer probably lived like 2.5 miles, 2 miles off where we lived in the Merc. And I wouldn't even have gas to drive to his house. I'd have to walk. And I'd walk to his house and knock on his window and just ask him for wash. Like, dude, do you have even a freaking cotton tip that I can get just the wash, please? I'm begging you.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd want to wait outside his house for someone to come buy dope because they would do it there to see if there was some wash left in that spoon that they could let me like just get like. That's how desperate. And that was after he moved out of our house because I think it was too much for him to deal with us and the way I was living.
No, he ended up telling his mom that he was a drug dealer. Do you remember that? So the whole story was I knew he was a drug dealer, but me and him had an agreement. He did trust me to that extent. I trusted him that he wouldn't.
He had like some sort of respect for you,
right? Yeah. So he went. He got mad at the dope dealer. Something happened, and then he went to his mom's house and told his mom that the guy is a dope dealer. So then his mom got involved, and the guy, I think they blamed me, and I really wasn't the one who said anything. It was him.
I don't really remember.
But he ended up moving out anyway.
I was out of it, and he stopped selling to me, and that was my only connect. So I had to I was going desperately looking for a connect, but one morning I woke up sick as shit. All we had was a piece of Suboxone Kurt gave me. I didn't want to take it. I wanted to get high. Like, I literally would wait with a Suboxone in my hand, hoping an opportunity would come before I would even take a piece of Suboxone. That's what I used Suboxone for.
Right.
Mainly. Okay. It was literally only used so that if I don't have dope, I have this. That's it. And then I can get my dope again.
Yep.
Well, I took this piece of Suboxone and, like, start feeling physically better, but I am in the framework I said I'm going to use today. It was like it's a mental state. Some days you could wake up and you, for some reason, weren't sick or weren't obsessive and like crazy.
You're just okay. You can accept the fact that I'm going to sit here all day and feel like shit.
Yeah, and then there's some days you wake up and you are panic there's no words to describe the panic and the misery that you are going through mentally and physically, and you're already withdrawn. And there's some days you don't even withdraw that day. You just feel like shit and you don't have it. Well, this day, I took that Suboxone, it kicks in, I decide, all right, money came across, we found, well, no, money didn't come across, he was going to front us a 20 bag. That was what he did. For me and Kurt, we will pay you back. We always needed a front if we didn't have the money. We go and get it. I'm not going to fill the whole thing because I'm taking Suboxone, and I remember I'm already like running into myself at this point. I'm having these deep inside conversations in my brain like, how much longer do you really want to do this shit? Are you really going to keep doing this? Like, those type of things. Like, it's all just getting old. And I get this $20 front. Kirk gets his. We're in the backseat of a car. I mentioned this on my channel before. Finally get it cooked down into the spoon and go to do it, and I spill half my spoon
That was my next story.
on my damn pants. And I just start crying. Just literally just start crying like, this means so much to me. This half of this spoon of juice that I'm going to put in my vein means everything to me. It's everything. I just spilt my God on my pants. So now I'm sucking the juice out of my sweatpants just to even get anything out of it, to try and get in my mouth. And I shoot the rest crying. Already had Suboxone blocking receptors from even getting what I wanted to get out of a 20 bag. And I look in that spoon and I remember seeing my own reflection in my eyes in the spoon. And I was crying and I was like, how the fuck did we get here, bro? And I looked at my brother and I was like, how did we get here, man?
Yeah.
And he started crying with me and he's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how we got here. And I remember that being like a moment before we got to our end. I remember that being a moment where I started really tapping into something inside that was going, this has got to change.
This is the life you're meant to live.
Right, and the end is coming. The end is coming.
It's crazy. It's like, it's like a premeditated, like, bro, like, dots started to slowly connect like a year before I really got clean. You know what I mean? It wasn't getting arrested again or her being like, I'm really done with you. It was a me thing. You know what I mean? I wrote it in one of my poems, bro. I said, like, I wanted more from life than the 8-hour time frame I lived on until I was sick. That's exactly it. You know what? You do a shot, and then it's like, okay, count down fucking 8 hours until I fucking feel like a bitch again. Pretty much, you know what I mean? And it got so just ugh. And dude, I just burned every bridge, bro. Like, and dude, the thing I can never forget myself is my little brother, bro. I stole so much from that kid, and I raised him with my mom, dude. He looked at me like a dad. And I mean, he'd get his little gift cards for fucking his birthday and shit. Barnes & Noble. He's a little reader, bro.
Yeah.
This kid could do whatever he wanted. He loved to read. I would go and fucking take his Barnes & Noble gift cards, bro, and sell them, and then go steal, like, just fresh, brand new ones off the shelf that had never even been registered, you know, and just put them back. So this little kid's going to use his gift cards, bro, and he's just confused, like, what the fuck? Like, there's no money on them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that shit still breaks my heart. I can't forgive myself for some of those things. Stealing his weed, stealing all of his... Yeah, it's just fucked.
Yeah.
It's
All we
crazy.
can do is, like, press forward, you know, on those things and try to someday hope you hit the lottery. You know what I mean? And make up for it. Hey, look, I bought you the whole GameStop store. How do you like that, bro? You know?
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
no, he forgives me. It's just crazy the depths you go to. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, it's crazy, bro.
it is crazy, man. I mean, there's so many stories. I remember when your mom, okay, you called her, or she came over or something. I stole $100 bill from you or some shit, ripped your purse out from your hand. She comes out, sees me with a spoon and a syringe, like, she never knew that I was shooting up or
No,
something.
she knew, but my mom's more like my best friend than she was my mom. So we could always come to her with anything because she's been there, she's done it, she knows, she doesn't judge us, that kind of thing. And she knew what Derek was doing, but she was so concerned. You know, DSS had just been called on us.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like freaking the fuck out anyways.
Yeah.
I'm in bed because I wasn't feeling well. I have Kurt, and I didn't know what was going on outside in front of the house because I was sick. So I was in bed, and she came over, and she's like, "Do you know what's going on outside in front of your freaking house?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "They're in a car parked. His brother, him, Natalie, which is his brother's wife, and some other kid, and they're shooting up in front of my house in the daytime." And I'm like,
So your brother and his wife were both addicted as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So is a lot of your family
Yeah, my sister Mana is in recovery, but yeah, there's a lot of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Alcoholism. My dad's an alcoholic. My mom did not.
Mm-hmm.
She's very
never done
addictive in
anything.
nature, but addictive in like good things. She's like a go-getter, get up, go. Like if she were to do
like
coke
never
or meth
slows
or
down.
something,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God forbid, she would be
Yeah.
like the coke
she's
queen.
already like
you
the
know?
Energizer bunny. You know
She's,
what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, no, she doesn't do any type of drugs. So, but I'm like, are you kidding?
And you
So
had no
I
idea that
freak-
was going on.
No, so I freak out, and my mom, she goes out and freaks out for me because I couldn't even get up. So she goes out and she's yelling at them, but she's normally never like that.
Mhm.
She's normally
No,
really.
she flipped out, and I'm
she
like,
freaked out.
She's like, okay, now you're messing with my
She's-
grandkids.
Yeah, like,
you're-
now
you're
I'm
risking
very
me losing my
fucking-
she's
grandkids.
not always been the responsible one. Let's put it that way. Like she would be drunk, doing drugs too, but it was like.
Oh yeah,
It was like everybody you can pop your Percocet. You are not going to shoot up heroin. That is totally, and there's like
no, it
levels.
wasn't that.
Yeah.
She just was very concerned.
She
'cause
was
we all
concerned.
knew how extreme Derek
But
was.
no, she was very
you know?
forgiving after she did that. She looked at me. She said, "I get it. Like I get
Yeah.
it, but no, you can't."
Do you
And
know what?
it didn't matter. I was going to do it. This is the craziest thing, and I know Chris can relate to this. Is I was going to run into that wall. I didn't give a shit. The wall better stop me. But there was like two me's. There was two me's. There was the me that was going, I was getting sick of. There's the other me that had to like finally just do something about it. I had to fight me. And I had parole, so like I had to piss test for my probation, the one for the felony charge that I got. I had DSS that I had someone ratted me out and said I was doing heroin, and they wanted to meet up with me. I wasn't going to go meet up with them. I looked like a freaking thrown away rag doll.
My name wasn't
With
even
track marks.
mentioned at all
Yeah.
in the DSS report, but of course, as the mother, I was.
So she
involved
kicked
in
me
it,
out.
You know?
She's like, "No, you're not taking my kids. Get out of my house." And so we
Yeah.
left. I left the house. Like, I'm going to use.
Yeah.
So sitting on couches. I'm hungry. I have no money. Using just to feel normal at this point. I can't even get like the nod out. It's like anyone who does methadone that did high doses, they nod, but they don't feel good. Ask them. They're like, "I'm not high anymore. I just get nod and I'm tired, but I'm not high. I don't feel it." Same thing with heroin. And long story short, I feel like there is no room to breathe. Claustrophobic in my life. Like, I can't. I have to change, or else I give up on anyone who cares about me, and I just don't care about myself anymore at this point.
Like, you're gone forever. If you
I'm gone forever if I don't take this moment
Yeah.
now. And it was like, I went to this lady's house. This is the craziest thing. I go to the house to get mom and them off my back. All right, I'll get things right. DSS off my back. Not my God. My God, heroin's going to be my thing. You know, like, I'm going to come back to you, baby. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
My wife is now willing to come and be part of my life. I go to this lady's house. I'm trying to get everything fixed, and then I can come back. While I'm at her house, some weird stuff happened. Now, I told you, like, I'm not a religious person at all. I don't know what it is, but something happened to me. It's subjective, completely. It's my own personal experience. I was at her house, and I'm starting to withdraw finally after 2 days. It took a long time to withdraw. The night she went to drop me off, I went straight to bed. The next day, she comes over to hang out that afternoon at night, and she had Percocet. She was prescribed at the time. I'm begging her for Percocet. I think you gave me 1 or 2 or something, and then I'm like, give me more. And you're like, that's all you care about. That's all you want is my Percocet. And we get in this argument, right? So my pride was still there. I was like, you know what, then fuck it. I don't want your Percocet, then go. I don't care. As she's driving off, I'm like, dude, she's taking off with the Percocet. Oh my God. You know what I'm talking about?
I seriously needed it, and like
Yeah.
that's all you're fucking worried about.
Yeah, like,
Like,
fucking
that's
go,
all-
try, like,
Just
no,
go.
please don't go.
And
And it's not, don't go my wife, don't go my
No.
Percocets. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and she,
But did you chase her down there? Because I would have chased her down the road too.
No.
Like, please.
My
like,
pride.
done that.
Oh, because if he would have done that, I
So-
would have still kept. I mean,
there was a pride thing
No.
in it. I was upset and I was angry, and there's like my anger outweighed it.
Yeah.
Luckily, everything worked out the way it did. She leaves. I start getting little sweats that night, right? And I'm thinking, you know what? I need to get something because I'm going to be sick. I go into this old backpack I used to carry everywhere I had. We don't have it anymore. I think I threw it away, but it had like 40 old syringes that I'd collected. You know, just kept my little ritual bag with all my things. I had ritual cases that had special bands and like certain things that I would use to do my stuff with.
Yeah.
And I went through and I took all these and I literally like took the little, orange cap syringes and I squeezed chunks into the spoon, big spoon. And I cooked it all down. It's this big sludge, right? And I'm thinking, in all this sludge, there's got to be some dope. But because it looked so bad, I ran it through a couple cotton filters. And by the time it gets in here, it's like orange. It's not brown anymore. It's orange. And every needle's dull by this time. And I do it. And I put it in. And I'm like, I wait about 20 seconds. That's all the time you need to know. And nothing happened. And I knew right then, I was like, I just shot up like fucking Hep C, Hep B, Hep D, Hep A, Z, D. I just shot up something horrible in my body and nothing happened. And then I start withdrawing, right? I have a full Suboxone in my pocket. I take half. Precipitated.
Yes.
I'm precipitated at a house, nothing. I turn my phone off. My phone won't work anymore. I have no way of transportation. And I go into the worst withdrawals I've ever experienced in my life that night. Undescribable. You know what I'm talking about. Next day, that day, earlier, Mom and Dad came to see me. And that's when the story of the giving tree comes in. Some real deep shit happened to me, man. And I don't know if you had some deep shit, but my mom came over with my dad. They acted like they hated me. At least it seemed that way from my perception because you feel like everybody's against you, right? And Mom is talking to me. She's like, son, I want you to know that I love you. And I'm like, I love you too, Mom, But no, son, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too, Mom. And she's like, son, no, you don't understand. I love you, son. Like, dude, it did something inside of me. And I started feeling a break. Like, something got in there, right? And I'm like, all right, I got you, Mom. I got you, but I'm feeling it. For a moment, I felt something that I hadn't felt in a long time. And my dad's right there, and this lady looks at me. She goes, shut the fuck up. Now, I never had a woman do that
Who
other
said
than
that?
my wife, but it never was that
The
direct.
lady
The
that-
lady's house that I was at.
She said that to you?
Yes. I don't know why, other than the fact that I was talking to my mom. She's looking at it like she's very military-like, so she was like, you listen and you learn, you don't talk, like that kind
Or
of
let them
fucking...
speak to you. Like,
Right, and I'm looking at her and she goes, you want to fucking hit me, don't you? And I'm thinking, yep, I want to fucking hit you. You know what I mean? Like, that's anger. All I had was hate, came right back. She turned to my dad, though, and she says, Patty, you need to get Mike The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. It's a kid book. And I'm like, okay, this bitch is off her rocker. Like, she's been smoking joints in the garage this whole time while I'm trying to withdraw off heroin. She's telling my mom to get my dad a kid book.
Just
what the hell's
Bro,
wrong
Shel
with these-
Silverstein knows some shit though.
Right. So I'm like, but I'm like, it's a
Crazy.
kid's book. So she's not getting like drug addict or parents of a drug addict or something, you know? Well, that night I get a call from my dad, and he's like, your middle son Caleb now. They had a co-parent with my wife. I was worthless. There was no dad in their life. I was a good parent. I was a a person around them. Okay, like I hid things as best I could. But
Yeah, he
You were probably so good when you're all loaded playing with them. Hey, buddy.
yeah, too much shit.
That's fucking best
he
play
wasn't-
kid in the world.
Yeah, he wasn't really left alone
I've
with
never
them.
been a bad
He was
dad.
never around them with it. You know, that he
Yeah.
didn't have to be.
You just
because
weren't
I
as
had
there
someone
as you
who
should
help me
have. Yeah.
co-parent.
So
Right.
I'm glad everything happened.
Like your
But
kids wouldn't have really known a difference. It's not like they saw a
Right.
bad
exactly.
version of
Right.
you. They just didn't see a lot of you.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I get the call from Dad. Caleb wants to draw in this book, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because he's like, look, he brings this book up, and he said, can I draw this, Papa? And he says, where'd you get this? And he says, in that box. Patty, my mom, where did we get this book, this box? Before we went and saw Derek today, we bought it at the flea market. So before everything was said at the house that they came to see
They
me
had
at,
already bought the
they had
book.
already bought that book that morning in a box collected with other books. What were the odds and the statistics that book was in the books that were purchased for the grandbabies?
And then your boy wanted to draw on it.
And that's
And my
the one
boy
we
chose
picked
that
out.
book to draw on. So immediate, instant.
And that
instant
lady had
goosebumps.
mentioned it without even knowing that they
Yes, nobody knew
Yeah.
nothing. Nobody knew nothing. And this is what really made me go, whatever you are, whatever
hear
you
you.
are, whatever it is, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You are saying everything I need
Everybody's
to hear.
on this connection of like this.
Something was
book,
going on.
but nobody, you know.
It was
really
weird,
knew
and
at all.
I can't explain it. I started to surrender inside. I started to give in, and I said a prayer, I guess you call it, or a talk. It wasn't like, oh Lord, please. No. This was a talk. And I said, if you want me to get clean, you have to make me. Because I can't. It's too powerful. There's no way I can stop. And when I gave it that fucking jurisdiction, it took over. Whether it was a higher me within me that was that guy who was weak and let the other person of me run all over me, and that guy said, that's it, I'm done, I don't know, I
You
can't.
like suppress subconscious or something.
Could be.
Yeah.
If you want to get scientific, there's some explanation. If you want to get spiritual, I don't know. All I know is it's real, it worked, it was deep. And then I leave that house 4 days in. She's convinced me you need to stay another 4 days. She's probably right for any other situation, but this was a weird, I don't know what was going on. She picks me up. I'm trying to make things right with my wife. I can't even, I can't even touch her body too long without it being warm, sticky. I'm nasty, don't touch me. Oh, I'm miserable. I go to the gas station near the house to pick up my Marlboro Menthol Black 100s. I wanted the 100s because they smoke longer than the shorts. It didn't matter because it didn't care if it hit harder. I wanted longer. There's always little things. On the front page of the newspaper, it says, heroin epidemic sweeping Fayetteville, North Carolina, or North Carolina, something like that. And I had to pick it up because the day I left her house, that's on the front page of the newspaper. So I took a picture of it. And I go to my house. I start watching YouTube videos to see this kid named Lucas. And Lucas was recording him getting clean. He gets 30 days. He's shining. I don't know, I'm rabbit trailing here and going on and on, but he overdosed in May this year and died. And he reached out to me. He was in a halfway house. He had relapsed on his YouTube. They took it down, all this stuff. Well, I go get a job.
Like
Finally,
he filmed himself relapsing?
Yeah.
yeah, he relapsed on YouTube. They took his channel down, and then he ended up in a halfway house and reached out to me years later. I did a video on my YouTube channel called Thank You, Lucas.
Oh,
And
because that's the guy that got to you. That's the first, right? That guy, you saw his video before
Yeah.
you did any years and inspired
before
you?
any of them.
Okay,
Yep,
we
and
talked
he's
about this
nobody, and he's nobody to anybody out there. Like, nobody knows who he was. He's not Ryan Donnelly. Ryan Donnelly was a fucking guru. He died, not because of drugs, but because he had an actual medical condition happen. He's not CG Kid, who's like the big, everybody knows, like, what's the subjective experience of your drug? Nobody knew who this guy was. He wasn't on that scale in terms of somebody, and he impacted me. So I knew when that happened, and I had this crazy stuff happening, I went ahead and opened up my phone, and that's when day 5 happened. Then day 6, and me and Kurt are outside of an AA meeting on day 5, and we're talking, and Kurt tried to battle this thing with me at the beginning. Then I did day 7 on my couch, which has 1,200,000 views. That blew up, and I'm literally just vlogging my experience. And they get boring more and more as time goes on and as I get clean, because I'm speaking a different language, and my audience isn't going, dude, we'll talk about the enemas and the fucked up shit, man. Talk about
It's
that,
leaving
bro.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're not understanding that
Yeah.
that person, that there's two
You're
people,
transcending into
is
something
leaving, the
different.
other guy's leaving me, and I'm going into a new place. But I remember getting a job at Crackville down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where all the crackheads worked, and they're still on my tips, and I'm like talking to this thing in me. What, you bring me here to the worst location in Fayetteville, and I'm a freaking recovering heroin addict, and I told you have to keep me clean. How the hell are you bringing me here? And then we had to go do another. The camera just kicked off again.
Just that one.
30 minutes. Well, that was going to kick off in a second. But
I gotta-
card full.
Already?
Dude, that
Yeah.
story, bro.
And it gets deeper because
Hold on, I have to pee so fucking bad. I'm gonna die.
It's good.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Weird shit keeps happening.
Was there so after your kid wanted to draw in that book? Was there anything else about the book?
Yes. So I actually read it, and it was the fucking deepest shit I've ever thought a kid's book can tell you.
Mhm.
You know.
I think she told Mike to buy it for Patty because isn't it about enabling, giving, and not receiving, giving? and not
Maybe that might have
receiving?
been her perception, but I think there was and I'm subjectively putting this on myself, that book wasn't for my mom or my dad.
Yeah. It was for you.
It was for me. It was
But
telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Because have you read that book?
I've read a lot of the shells, but when I was younger, like I had like a whole collection, so I don't know which one exactly. I don't remember which one you were.
It was the one where the kid kept taking and taking and taking.
Yeah, little kid.
They're the white books that just have the black
Yeah,
drawings.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this little kid goes to the tree,
Mhm.
and this tree talks to him, and the tree loves the kid. The tree will do anything for this child, this young kid. And he's best friends with him. He says, "I'm hungry." The little kid says, and he's like, "Here, take the apples from my tree. You can have my apples and eat, and you'll be full." So the kid eats the apples, and he's like, "Thank you." And then he draws a little heart. The pages go by, draws a little heart in the tree and me. You know, kid gets a little older, and he gets a girlfriend. Then the girlfriend comes, and he's with the girlfriend under the tree, but he's playing with the tree, and the tree's happy just that he's there. "Oh, welcome back. I'm glad you're here." Well, the girlfriend and him are enjoying the tree, and the next scene comes up. "Hey, I need to be able to buy a house for me and my wife because they get married now." "Oh, well, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you," the tree says. "You can take my branches and you can cut the limbs so that you can build a house." You know, so the kid takes the limbs off and gets the house, and then down the road, the wife and the kid come, not the wife and the kid, but the man comes back, and he talks about how he needs. I can't remember what else he needed. He needed something else.
But
from
he's
the
slowly
tree.
just like
Slowly taking the tree.
Yeah, and the
Next
tree's
thing
just
you know,
turning into nothing.
The tree's a stump.
Mm-hmm.
And this old man with a cane comes walking up to the tree. He's like, "It's you. Welcome back. I have nothing to give anymore. I have nothing to give."
Yeah.
And the old man says, "That's okay. I just need somewhere to sit." And he just sits on the tree stump. That was it. And it was like it ends on this like, what?
Like
Bro, his
still
books
taking.
What is it?
Like.
And I remember the tree was always happy
Mm-hmm.
because he gave.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take. He just gave and gave and gave. And that old man was just tired. He was always taking. He was always, and it was
Like he never. Yeah. He like the old man never really found like the happiness.
Have you
but,
never read
yeah.
Saul Silverstein books, babe?
No, I
Or
haven't. I
kids
just
are
don't-
gonna grow up
just-
with
I
those
just
fuckers.
don't. I don't remember that exact
Sure,
story.
they're good books.
Right. But yeah, so that was the giving tree, and I had that job while I was at that crack place. We end up going to. Here, let me do this. Let me move this here.
Dude, can I tell you something real quick? Side
Yeah.
note. When I just walked into the bathroom, bro, I opened the door and I cleared my throat. And when I cleared my throat, my gum flew out of my mouth, swished right into your toilet. It was dope.
What?
It was super dope. Yeah. Accident.
So I go from this car wash,
Yeah.
and they tell me to go and wash these trucks at this company called HBC. It's a solar company. I go there and I'm like, "Hey, can you guys hire felons?" And they're like, "Yeah, I am one." The guy says. I'm like, "What?" They looked out for me, man. They gave me new tires on my truck, all this stuff, and we're washing cars all day there. And I go to put an application in, and I told the guys at the car wash, "I'll be off Monday. I got to go do something." And I didn't tell them what, but I went down there to go get it, and I found out one of my buddies from high school, he was there and he just got fired for felony urinalysis. They fired 30-something people for failing drug tests. I am a drug addict who's heading to this job to try and get it, and you can sit if you want. I don't know where Ryan is. I just changed the camera view though, straight on.
Filming?
Yeah, you're good. You're there.
You're good. And I ended up getting this job the day they fired 30-something people for drug addiction and not drug addiction necessarily, but for drugs. I go in as a drug addict, and the first question they asked me, "Can you pass a piss test?" I was like, "Dude," the first thing I said, I was like, "I've done so many drugs, I cannot even tell." I was so transparent and honest in this world. I was like, and they just started laughing at me. They're like, "What?" I was like, "I've done so many drugs, but yes, I can pass a piss test." And he's like, "You got the job, man." And I was like, "Dude, what did you guys think about that?" A year later, I asked the guys, like, "What did you guys think about that?" I came in there and you're like, "Can you pass a piss test?" I was like, "I have done so many fucking drugs, but yes, I can pass a piss test." And he's like, "I didn't know what to think, dude. Now I know who you are and what you're about, but we got you the job." The day I left there, I went home to get my pack of smokes. Same ritual, same gas station. Front page of the newspaper. Solar panels sweeping North Carolina. It was the wildest shit, dude. The day I got hired, solar panels are in the newspaper. So I was like, someone watching this might go, "That's God, that's Jesus." Someone else might say, "That's the spirit of the universe." Someone scientific who's an atheist might turn and say, "Look, coincidental synchronicities, your mind was looking for something and it's there," or whatever, okay? Regardless, I don't care what
it resonated with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to know that. You don't have to believe any of those conclusions the way that they're saying it. All you have to know is that it's real,
it
or whatever happened, and it's true.
And it made me feel a way to progress me.
But it's on some crazy shit.
It's crazy, yeah.
But it's what it is, man.
It is.
But fuck, you can really think into that shit. I mean, it's amazing, dude. Like all that domino effect. It's crazy.
And that was what like kept me clean. And then I started to vlog my channel, man, and I wasn't able to go to meetings. I stopped going to AA and NA. I went really hardcore first, religious again, like going extreme because I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Dude, me and the wife argued every day when I was in active addiction. Every single day we fought. Literally, we couldn't have a conversation without fighting because it was about drugs or money or something.
Yeah.
And I remember getting 17 days clean to the day, and me and her start talking about, I had a dream, and I thought I was going to die from this dream. And she's looking at me, and she's listening, and I said, I'm going to die from using. Well, she's like, yeah, I feel that way too at times. And I'm like, no the hell you don't. You know, I start this argument for no reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're not going to fucking die from this shit. I'm going to die from heroin. And she's like, who the fuck do you think? You know, like starts arguing back with me. And I'm over here telling her, I had a dream. I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. I know I'm going to die because this shit's killing me. Blah, 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 blah.
Because it's all about me.
It's all about me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not the giving tree yet.
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
So I end up going to the backyard, get a little fire going. She comes out with this cup of coffee, smile on her face. 20, 30 minutes later, and I'm like, babe, you didn't have to make that for me. And she's like, here you go, babe. She goes, you know what? You're right. You're way more fucked up than I am. And I was like, dude, I walked so bad into that one because I'm over here talking about how fearful I am of dying and how bad my addiction is. And she's like, you're right.
I was only an addict when it was convenient for him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was like, dude, am I an addict? Am I not? Because I'm so high functioning, I didn't feel like I was. But then he'd convince me I was. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I am. And then when it wasn't convenient, I wasn't. Because I wasn't as bad as him. So I'm like, fuck, am I or am I not? I'm so fucking confused, you know? So, yeah.
And I'm sure, like, since you started the dope, were y'all together the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we did. So there was a lapse where I was in the process of buying my house, and he was using, and
Well, let's throw it all back to the beginning.
Okay.
'Cause I was smoking.
Okay.
Well, she was like my high school sweetheart, dude. She was like, we dated in 6th grade, bro. She's the first girl I ever kissed on the lips. First girl I ever took on a date to the movies. Too Fast, Too Furious. Then she dumped me because I shared a pixie stick with her friend Taylor. So our relationship lasted 2
We went
weeks.
to a birthday party
But
and it
can't
was
be
like
doing
one
that.
of those big
Right.
ass pixie sticks.
So
And we had only kissed on the lips like once, and I remember she's like slobbering all over this pixie stick, and then he like took some of it afterwards, like put his mouth on it, and I was like, in my head I was like, they just made out, like, and I just was like so like super jealous about it. And I remember we got home that night and I called him. I was like, it's not gonna work out. It's like,
So that was where that-
Slobbered with this other
You're
girl.
a guy. You're just being a boy. Like,
yeah,
give me some out.
I
this
literally
was
was.
some pixie stick. dude.
In
Fuck.
my head, I was like, he didn't want that pixie stick. He just wanted his mouth to be on it after her mouth.
You
Because she
two
was
are
like,
too much alike.
she was like the hot girl in like
Bullshit,
middle school.
dude.
She
No, she
was,
wasn't.
yeah, she was like a dancer. I remember everyone thought her butt was like so nice and she was like attractive. She was like sporty, and I was just
Right.
short,
I had a
and
crush on her.
I was just jealous of her. You
So
know?
okay, so what happened there was, so that was short lived, but that was like the start of everything, you know. And then we still had this like unspoken chemistry for each other, bro. We also
Because we hung out in the same like friend group, and so I dated.
But then
his
she
friend.
she dated my buddy Justin, that guy we were talking about. He was like my good friend, bro, all through school, all through high school, and I was hooking up with other girls, and we'd see each other at parties. And we never really spoke like that, you know. But I swear we made eye contact, bro. And we always had that same.
There's
feeling,
always
so, you know what I
like
mean?
I still had a crush.
But like,
so I
and
was
Justin
just,
was
like,
always like fighting with her. He's like, she's such a fucking bitch, dude. Fuck this, fuck. And it's like I didn't understand. I'm like, why is she a bitch, you know? But anyways,
yeah, I mean,
they just didn't get along well. It's
Very
fine, you
young.
know. We were all young, but so after high school and everything, and we finally started hooking up. I was detailing cars, bro, but I was smoking heroin, and we started to date. And I knew they broke up, and I knew everybody had got into that shit around the same time. All my circle, you know, it was oxys, and then it all went into that. So he was doing that on his own thing, and I was doing it on my own thing. But then when I fucking had a chance with her, I was like, dude, I gotta quit this shit, bro. Like, I cannot be smoking heroin being with a girl like her. Like, I always liked Paige, you know?
Yeah.
So I moved to my mom's in Washougal, which is like 15 miles out of town. And I'm working there and living. And my mom's got this dude she's dating at the time, this younger guy, her boyfriend at the time. He was on the couch like 8 days clean off of heroin, bro. She's just like saving this dude. Like, but she was hooking up with him, you know. He's like 15 years younger. They're screwing, whatever, dude. But so I go to stay there, and I dry out for like a week, and then I'm normal, and then me and this guy get to talking, you know. And it's like I go there to get away from this shit, but then it's like, okay, if I can sneak it, you know. It's like this guy's got connections out here. He's trying to get clean, but just because he's at the end of his road, he doesn't work or nothing. He's like exhausted all of his opportunities, you know what I mean? And then it's like I come there, I got income and shit, so we just get to talking, two addicts, you know. Eventually, like 2 weeks down the road of me being in Washougal, I'm like, bro, can you get a 20 piece, you know? And then so I start fucking getting 20 pieces, and we start splitting them in half, dude, splitting them in half, and then it's like it starts to become
I need to
financially inconvenient. So I'm like, fuck, dude, he shot me up for the first time, you know. I was scared as fucking needles, dude. I was scared at the doctor getting a shot and
Yeah.
everything, and
Me too.
I finally just let him do it, dude. I was like, fuck it, you know, because he talked me into it. And I remember looking away. I was so scared. And game over, bro.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. But then, so she ended up finding needles at that house and gave me an ultimatum. So I moved to Colorado with my dad. And
like I knew he was using heroin because we had already been dating for about like a year, and I had like found foils and stuff when he was like smoking it, and
Right.
so I knew that was like something that was going on. And then he went out to Washougal to get clean. I knew that he was probably still using because I knew this guy was. I just knew that something was going on. They were always just, I'd go over there and they were just sketchy, going out into the garage forever and, going to the bathroom. Like,
well,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to
Go to
where
the bathroom
No,
together.
I know, but
Guys don't do that.
I know, but like,
Typically.
so then when I found out he was shooting up though, I was like, in my head, it was like, to me, that was worse than like smoking heroin. Like smoking heroin, it was almost kind of like I had gotten to a point where I was like, I can deal with that. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it didn't seem as bad
Brian's
right
the
now.
same, yeah.
And then when I found out he was using needles, it was like, that was just a different world.
He's
And-
gonna die.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, like he's one of those people you watch on like TV, like Intervention, whatever. And that's when I called his dad who lived in Colorado, and I was like, your son's using heroin, he's shooting up with needles. And his dad like literally flew up from Colorado that next day, and we did like an intervention on Christopher, and his dad tried to talk him into moving down to Colorado, like just going to Colorado with him to get clean. And
I was like, fuck off.
yeah,
Good.
Christopher like ran away for like 2 days or something.
Yeah, you didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that shit. Get off my porch.
Were you mad at her
You
for
know what I
calling?
mean?
Or?
I was mad at all of them. I wanted them all to
Yeah.
fuck off.
Oh
dude.
yeah, you know I would too. You.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was like, dude, you guys don't fucking know me, motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I was
don't know,
so
it's
desperate
weird.
for him to get clean that like I got to a point where like I didn't want to protect him. Like I wanted him to get in trouble. I wanted him to go to jail. I wanted something bad to happen. Obviously
Right,
not die, but like, you know, like fucking I was like
So you
prison.
didn't have to worry every time you heard
Yeah.
a siren and shit. That, oh my
Mhm.
god, is that for him?
yeah, like I just was like if he went to jail or prison, like at least I would know where he was at, like, you know,
I know he's not gonna die.
yeah, or,
He's
you know,
gonna-
so that was kind of, and I just, in my head, I was like, if we can just get him to a different state even, like,
Right.
you know, maybe
We
that
have
would,
the
like,
connection.
yeah.
So I got there though, dude. I got to Colorado and I was just smoking bud and shit. But I got a job at Subway. That was I'm not gonna talk about that actually. So I got she followed me there like 7 months later, and I was doing good. You know, I had conned these doctors though, dude. This is what I'm talking about, having a mouthpiece. The same doctor, bro. I got my doctor to prescribe me Adderall and fucking Klonopin somehow, which are two totally polar opposites. I convinced the dude I had ADD, which I do. Got on Adderall, but then I was like, dude, I have hella bad anxiety, probably from the Adderall, but he ended up giving me fucking, he gave me Klonopins, bro. So I got.
Oh,
I
by
got,
the way, give me some Xanax.
because I was a cocktailer, bro. You said you like one drug at a time. I liked fucking.
I mean,
I like
mixed
being inebriated,
certain
bro.
Types.
I love, my thing was I did goofballs and sniff Xanax bars, bro. That was my shit.
Right.
I mean, I just
I
like
would
being
do
out of my,
Adderall
off
and
my rocker.
opiates at the
It's
same
weird.
time. I would speedball, but I didn't like drinking and smoking pot. Get dizzy.
Mhm.
I didn't like drinking and using opiates. I liked the way that opiates felt. You mess up the high.
Yeah.
You start mixing
Right.
unless you do upper and downer, like Adderall or meth and
Normally,
opiates.
it's those who really like uppers. I think that the upper and downer helps because those uppers start making you feel bad
Yep.
physically. So you want the downer so you can take that pain away.
Well,
the
and-
uppers, you know, that's where you're really aiming for. You want that up feeling. Normally, anyways, that's how I am.
No, totally. I can't tell you how many times. This was like part of the most miserable part of using, dude, was when, because I like doing goofballs, and then when I was hiding it from her, and I would just try to go do a shot and like, you know, act like I was still sober when she got home. But it's like if I did too much meth, I'd be fucking all like, you know. So then it's like, and I swear it's crazy, bro. If I just did heroin, my pupils would be pinned, and if I just did white, my pupils would be huge.
So
But
you
if I
mix
did a mix of both of them, which would be higher than anything, that was my preference, my pupils would regulate.
Yes.
So it's like I was
Yes.
fucking high as a motherfucker, but
But you
my
look
eyes
normal.
do
were
too
were
much
not
of
as.
one over the other, then it fucks with you. I would always
Dude,
get caught
totally.
because I would always do more
But
of
I would
that.
try to find the perfect ratio, so it's like, dude, I'm lit, and I'm just talking about. It's like, why are you so enthused in our conversations right now? I'm just like, babe, you know, so fucking positive, chipper, talking. But then
Yeah.
it got obvious because it's like I'm just laying in bed, heart fluttering against my chest, like acting like I'm just having trouble sleeping tonight. Like I'm sure, dude, those were the worst, bro.
I know
trying
where
to
you have to
fucking hide
force
it.
yourself to sleep
Oh,
so that they
she
don't
can't
know.
I have insomnia.
She can't hide it.
So that's what I was getting
No,
to
I
though with
can't.
all that. So we went to Colorado. I ended up getting her back in my corner. She follows me there 6 months later. We get our own place, but I'm still not clean this whole time. You know, like I'm paying bills.
Like he's
I
not
have a
doing
full-time job.
heroin,
But I
he's,
had those prescriptions,
pills.
and then I was doing hella coke, and then I started doing meth again. I found a meth dealer eventually, but she didn't know she knew I was doing lines of coke because I worked at a bar, bro. Like, you know, it was so
It
casual.
was a different drug though
Yeah.
than what she was used
It was-
to. So
right.
the signs were different.
And the people
Yeah.
I was around were using it socially and being productive. You know, they weren't
It was a
fucking
college town
addict
we were
like me.
living
You
in,
know,
so
they're all
coke was
totally
like-
normal.
just a normal thing for everybody there.
And
Like,
yeah, it was crazy. So when I was working at that bar, I was drinking a lot of beer and eating fucking pizza and hot wings every night. So I got up to like 270, dude. I got super heavy. And then when I started doing meth and Xanax down there, I dropped to 185, dude, in like 3 months, bro. I got thin as fuck in like 3 months, dude. Was
like
not eating or
sickly.
sleeping,
You
and
look
I was
so
just,
sick.
bro. I was working 2 jobs though. I was working at the pizza place, and then I was working for a moving company, and just not eating or sleeping at all, dude. I had the key to the shop at the moving company. I'd go set up halogen lights at 2 a.m. and buff and wax the fucking trailers and shit, just doing weird shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
I was never. And then, but I don't know if she knew. She probably like.
Suspected.
Suspected
knew
some
you-
shit,
I knew
but
you
you didn't
were-
know I was like using because this.
Yes, I did because
No, I'm talking about when it all led up to the note in my sock. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm like getting to.
But I had a feeling because I remember you weren't coming home. I was sleeping alone like every night because he was at this freaking
Well, she had her
garage.
I
suspicions.
thought she was like,
She had her suspicions, bro, but she
Sleeping
didn't
around
know for sure.
I know.
She
I
couldn't
knew
pin
that.
anything,
I knew
like-
he was. Because I knew that he was doing something. Like I knew he was like doing
You know
drugs.
No,
But but it was like in my head, I was like trying to be naive to it in a sense, because also it's like we've got this apartment, like we're on a lease, like I can't afford to break it. None of my family lives there. I didn't want to call my family and tell my family that everything was going to shit, because I literally like moved there and was like so confident that he was going to be great and everything was going to be good, and it was like it looked like a failure that I go to Colorado and less than 2 years later I'm already having to break my lease, because he's fucking up again. And so it was like this weird battle, because I was like, it'll just get better, like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.